thank you for joining me. So I have just a couple of questions. I'll start with you, Mark. So Big Man in the Woods, kind of where did it all start, and kind of where did you get the initial ideas from?
So Big Man in the Woods originated because my whole background is radio. I used to work in professional radio for years and years and years. And I got chatting to a scout leader on one of my would-be courses, and he wanted to start a podcast up. That went on for about 4 years, 3 or 4 years, called Urban Bushcraft. And it kind of petered out, and various things happened. So I started up my own podcast, but I couldn't think of a name. And one of the nicknames I get called at work is Big Man, because 6'3", big guy, slimmer than Max. And it was bouncing around the ideas, and people at work were just trying to help me. And somehow Big Man in the Woods kind of fitted in. That ran as a podcast for, I don't know, 3-4 years. And at the time I was podcasting, trying to do a bit of blogging and a bit of random vlogging. And more people wanted to see more YouTube stuff, and something had to give. So it was more or less like a flip of the coin. Which one am I going to stop doing? I really enjoyed the video. So sadly, the podcast got knocked off the head. And Big Man in the Woods kind of has just evolved from then. And it's gone on a journey of doing different twists and different turns, not knowing where it was going in the beginning, but kind of now in the last 2-3 years, I've kind of worked out where it's going, which is scouting, and in particular, kind of trying to help scout leaders in particular. So that's where kind of Big Man in the Woods started and where it's going.
Yeah, well, great stuff. So obviously last year, because of the pandemic, you may not have heard of it, first YouTube was born. Whose idea was it to come and start with that? Was it yours, or?
It was mine. It was mine. I had just some crazy idea. In fact, it was in the kitchen here when it got announced that scouting was stopped, and I thought, you know what? Every Thursday, I'm going to do this live session for my scouts. And then kind of the week got on, and I was like, actually, I think I was bitten off a bit more than I can chew. I don't really know much about technology, that kind of stuff. So kind of just chatting to Max on one random Facebook chat, I think it was Max, wasn't it? And then that's how it kind of got going. Max was wanting to do something similar with his scouts. So we bantered some ideas around and thought, actually, let's just do something together and see where it goes. And put the feelers out, and people actually, can we join in? Can we join in? Can we join in? So we started our first night with I think it was about 7,000 people watching live. It was an awesome night, a fantastic night, complete buzzing with what was going on. But the biggest problem for myself and Max was the amount of comments that were coming in on YouTube. We were having hundreds by the minute. Can you say hello? Can you mention this? And it was really quickly, we needed help on that kind of side of people wanting shout outs, mentions, which was something we wanted to promote. You know, we wanted to get the word out, scouting. So me and Max were like, you know, we need to find someone. And then I don't know how, maybe it was just another random chat. Colin said, I'll volunteer for 1 week to be whatever you want to call it. I'll get the names out. And there was a few, like with everything live, there's a few trolls, some people being a bit funny that will write something a bit naughty and stuff. So Colin would be the moderator, and he would only do it for 1 week. Then the following week, we'll find someone else. What are we now? We're nearly coming up to a year later, and Colin's still involved. And Colin, you know, it was just going to be me and Max. And then what turned out was people were asking for Colin all the time. Where's Colin every week? It kind of, there was different stages in first YouTube. It was me presenting. Max brought on his awesome craft cam. Then we had not cam. And then people were like, well, where's Colin? So then Colin came in and joined our kind of trio. But with my limited IT skills, as people would know, and I think it wasn't just my fault at all. but people were more using the bandwidth at 7 o'clock on a Thursday doing whatever. My internet was crashing. Max's internet was crashing. The software that we were using wasn't fast enough, and it couldn't cope with the amount of people that were watching and streaming. And every week we were drinking holy water, praying to the gods that would we have a live stream without crashing. One week would work and next week we wouldn't. We got live guests then, they couldn't log in or they couldn't have audio. Max would get his mouse, click the wrong button, he would log off. My video was going, and every week it was a real annoying. I will let Max speak in a minute, by the way, don't worry. And every week something went wrong. And I really learned about resilience. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. But with the help of Max's IT skills, Colin's IT skills, we found a new bit of software. Off it went for a few months. And then we kind of was told we could return back to face-to-face scouting. We didn't really know if First YouTube would continue. And it worked for a little bit. But now, at the moment, we're concentrating on our own groups every Thursday because scouting is now coming up to a year of no face-to-face scouting, and our own groups were kind of suffering. I think that's it. But we'll let Max talk because I can talk for hours, and Max will just be staring like.
Yeah, so you captured that in a nutshell, Mark.
Never. I never capture things in nutshells.
So like you had a couple live guests. Do you have a favourite of the guests you have on?
Ask Max his favourite guest.
Oh, all of them.
Yeah.
No, Max. You have one particular special guest.
We've had loads of guests. We try to get more.
No, that's not the question, Max. Don't avoid the question. Max wants to know who was your favourite guest.
I think I already know the answer to this one.
The most memorable was Megan, Scout Ambassador. Bringing a Scout Ambassador onto the call was fantastic. We did try and get others. Unfortunately, everyone was in high demand with just do this, do that, do this, video things for loads of different groups and for scouting in general, and they had their own careers and things to do. So there were loads, but we were lucky. She came along and did that fantastic talk for us, which was really good.
Awesome.
Kind of you're both leaders. So do you have any tips for people who may want to become a leader themselves, or do you want to start, Max, for that one?
Do it. Contact a local scout group and do it. Don't be frightened if you haven't got the skills, because you'll pick them up. You'll learn the skills. And a great bunch of people. The teams I've seen, the leaders around, absolutely fantastic. You know, different groups of different skills, different knowledges, but the great thing about scouting is there's so many resources now. There's so much to learn from. There's so many ways of learning, courses, and you know, the stuff we do with Bush Scout and teaching traditional skills. So much to go and do that. As a leader, for me, you could pay thousands of pounds on external courses to learn half the stuff you do as a leader.
Yeah.
Come and do it. You give up time and you learn some fantastic skills, and you can deliver it to the young people and influence the next generation.
Yeah, because I saw something on social media not so long ago that you don't have to be Bear Grylls to be a volunteer, which just sums it up really to me. Like, you don't have to have any experience in volunteering or scouting to join in, really.
No.
Was there anything you wanted to add to that, Mark? Or?
I think exactly what you just said, that you don't need scouting skills. And I joined as a leader 13, 14 years ago, not being at all in a scouting movement. I was in Scouts for 4 weeks. Well, I was in Boobies, sorry. for 4 weeks. Mum says that I cried, didn't enjoy it. And that's it. That was my scouting. I still cry now every week. No, I can't take it. No, seriously, and that's true. You don't need scouting careers. And as a leader, all three of us know that there's so many roles in scouting that aren't just about tying knots and map reading and stuff. You can be a leader like me and not have those outdoor skills, and then learn them over the years or whatever. And you can be that leader that, I don't know, like Max is at IT. That's his job. And my job is in a hospital. So you could come along and that's your kind of forte. So when we're doing first aid, emergency aid, when we're doing about IT skills and whatever, that's your time to shine. So that's when you step forward and run the program. But there's loads of jobs in scouting, not just being a leader, is there? We know that. And I think that's what we need to push a bit more, is to get those what's the expression, backroom roles, all the exec, admin, quartermaster, treasurer, all those roles play a really vital part in scouting. And I think that's what, as leaders, we need to push that side as well, not just being the leader side.
Yeah, there's kind of like a role for everybody in scouting, really. Everyone brings something different. Like within my group, like different people know different things. Like one person's really good at navigation, someone else is really good at first aid. So it's like all together we make like a really good team.
That's good.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that other scout groups and are in the same position as well. So
exactly.
Mark, you kind of answered my next question. What you just said. So have you been involved with scouting as a young person, or just as a leader? Or?
No, so as I say, I was in Beavers for 4 weeks, and then that was it. I left, and then how I got into scouting was I moved to London, and I didn't have any friends in London, and I kind of remembered an old conversation I had with a fellow colleague about joining Scouts. I was like, actually, that's quite cool. Something to do, and the rest is history. And my wife and my mother-in-law were like, you're only going to do it for 6 months. We know what you're like. You're going to get bored. I don't know what it is. 13, 14 years later, still rocking up. It's not just Thursdays now. But it's a great. I would say it's a hobby, but it's more of a hobby now, isn't it? It's a big passion of mine now.
Yeah, it's not just 2 hours a week.
No, sadly not. If only it was, but And Gilwell hate the person. They hate the person who started that. It's only 2 hours a week, but apparently in some places of the country, it's only 1 hour a week.
Yeah. Were you a young person scouting, Max? Or
I was. I did.
Max memory isn't that good now.
Oh, I'll get me on that mark later. So, yeah, I was a cub back in the old days when we had the caps and the garters around the socks. You won't remember that, Mark, will you? No. But you were still in Egyptian cotton nappies at that point, weren't you?
Yes, I certainly was.
Yeah, never mind. And I went to Scouts. I gave up at Scouts, and then got back into it when my son was in Beavers, and the wife did guides for a while as a guide leader, and then came over and did Beavers. Sort of, that was it then.
Yeah. Did you have a favourite badge when you were a young person, if you can remember, or did you like enjoy every badge? Or
Well, badges have changed dramatically. I mean, some of them haven't. Some of them were still around, but I think there was some kind of axe badge or woods badge or something that was quite. I enjoyed that one.
So, question for both: if you were to sit around a campfire with only one person who would it be?
Max.
Yeah, Mark.
No way. No.
No.
Max, work out my answer. Let's see how well you know me over these years. Mine's probably straight, easy guess.
Yeah, that'll be your missus, because.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard one to answer, because there's so many people with so many interesting stories you'd like to just sit down and chat to them about and listen to. I think if you could have a group of people around the campfire, that would make for an interesting evening. For me, the sort of stories in campfires should be shared.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would be my granddad, to be honest. Just because he died when I was only 10, and he influenced me so much even though those short years, and yeah, just to spend a bit of time with him, and from the stories my mum tells me about him, he sounds like an awesome guy, and I'd really love to spend time as an adult now, getting to know him and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when sitting around campfires, do you have like a favourite campfire food or snack or
Food.
Food.
Yeah.
Anything that goes around. There is a little tradition in Bush Scout that we also have a tube of Pringles that always goes round. It doesn't go that far when me and Max are there.
Don't know what you mean.
No, I don't really have like a favorite. I take snacks and stuff. Yeah.
I think it's nice when you sit around the campfire and you can, stick a marshmallow on a stick or do some dampers or, something like that. That's just sitting watching the fire.
It's the best bit.
Mesmerizing.
Yeah, love it.
Matt, what's your favourite food?
I think marshmallows, but I think s'mores are definitely up there. Marshmallows, biscuits, chocolate. Can't really go wrong with that.
Sounds good.
Will first YouTube be returning anytime soon, or are you allowed to reveal anything? Or
if you know the answer, Matt, let us know.
Yeah, we'll do some more. It's been a bit busy, and things have changed slightly, and people are getting used to different ways of working and having to change clothes around things. But we will come back and do some more because we need to.
I think what we've enjoyed more, and this is just Max might correct me, but the things that we've been is the live sessions that we've been doing afterwards, just chit chatting like we're doing now. And I think that's pulled a whole lot of leaders together that have been struggling. The things that we were doing on Thursday night, the live stuff with the badge work and stuff, that was awesome. That was really good fun. But I think now, as Max was saying, people, or should I say leaders, have now worked out how to do it on Zoom, how to run virtual sessions, how to do escape rooms. And they're kind of, that scouting side is kind of working. I know there's leaders that are petrified on it, and that's fine. But what's worked best for us is when we've been doing our kind of live, just the leaders chatting and throwing questions and asking queries and stuff like that. That's, I think, that direction that we probably will be going back to.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Similar question to the campfire question. If you could have a guest on future live first YouTube, who would it be outside of family members?
Go on, Max.
No, go on, I'll let you do this one.
Well, it's got to be the main man Bear, I think, would be the obvious answer.
Well, if you ever find contact details for Bear, I would love to know them.
I do, but it's a no. He's a hard one to get hold of.
Mm.
Max, who's your guest be?
I guess I'd like to stretch outside of scouting and perhaps pick up on some different people. You know, I'd love to interview David Attenborough.
Yeah.
I think he'd be fascinating.
Yeah.
There are lots of other big adventurers and things that have. I mean, we spoke to Alistair Humphreys, what he's done, but there's Ben Fogel. Perhaps he'd be a good shout to get on. And
we may have seen my video the other week with Sean Conway. He's done loads of pretty cool stuff. He's done marathons and loads of other stuff. And his great uncle, Elk Baden-Powell, set up scouting over 100 years ago, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So kind of like final bit. If you were to offer any advice, or if anybody wanted to kind of join scouting or wanted to kind of join Bush Scout even, what one word would you offer them to kind of join?
One word. Wow. Max, go on.
Adventure.
Confidence.
Yeah. So that was that kind of that final bit for me, and Max. I also noticed on Facebook you do the page Sparrowhawk Bushcraft. Is there any reason why you chose Sparrowhawk, or?
That's my scouting name.
Oh, right.
So the leaders in my troop are named after birds. So after a while, I chose Sparrowhawk. So I did Sparrowhawk Bushcraft, and it's just there to sort of do different things under.
Yeah.
Just to do some bushcraft, have a little bit of a banner around it.
Yeah. Will you be joining in the Big Garden Birdwatch this weekend, or?
Oh yes. I've been making sure the feeders have been full over the past weeks to keep the bird numbers up.
Yeah. So that's kind of the final bit for me. Anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, good, Max. Max, have you got anything?
No, I'm good, Matt. Thank you.
Matt, thank you very much for inviting us. It's been awesome.
My cat wanted to say hello. Special guest.
My cat's... I don't know where my cat is. I can find someone else, though.
Oh, can you? Everything's falling down there.
Else.
No.
He's been hiding down here. White
Tiggy's on the chair.
Oh, Tiggy's under there, is she? Oh.
Tiggy's under the chair.
She's just
No. The only thing I can find.
No, she
Oh, we had to make an appearance. Max is pocket.
He lives by the side of the computer, so he can come out any time.
Does Puffet want to say anything about any words of advice to people who want to join scouting?
No, my ventriloquy skills are rubbish, so no.
I think, Max, we've never seen it. You should show us.
Hang on.
This is going to go disastrously wrong.
It is, isn't it? It's going to be absolutely massively wrong. Hello, everyone. It's good.
What did you think about that? Was it good or not? I think that says it all, Max.
Okay. Back to the day job then.
Won't be doing that as a career choice then, Max.
No.
No, definitely not.
No.
We're not going to see him on Britain's Got Talent.
No.
Mark, does your special guest have anything to say about joining Scouting? No? If anybody wants to join?
What do you think about the Scouts?
Mm.
No.
Mm.
What's your favourite thing about Scouts?
I don't know.
He's a very good ventriloquist. I don't know. You gonna talk? No. Too shy.
Don't blame him. So that's kind of everything from me. So thanks for joining me and having a virtual chat with me.
Thanks, Matt. It's been awesome.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.